Do you want to learn about the odds of your horse? Stay tuned, it's coming up right after this. What's up guys, Dino here, welcome back to my racing channel. Today we are going to be talking about the odds of the horse and horses that you guys may be going to have a little flutter on. So we're going to start today. It's the racing for tomorrow, and the flat racing is at Southwell and at Kempton, which is at night. Now I'm going to go through a couple of wee tips here. This first race, I was telling you about class races that range from a class 7, which is probably the most, it's the poorest race of any of the class. Considering you got a class 7 and you go right up to a grade 1, there's so huge a gap there. So this first race is a class 6 and it's an apprentice handicap race. Now me personally, I stay away from any apprentice race. Nothing against the jockeys, nothing against the trainers, even though some of the trainers are good trainers, but they're apprentice jockeys and they're learning their trade. So, and they will always, more times than not, appear in a class 6 or a class 7. So yeah, in my opinion, I would probably stay away from your class 6s and class 7 races because they're not very good races. And as you can see here, mind how I was telling you about the official rating of a horse? Well, you can see here 4-year-olds and upwards, and it's 0 to 60. Especially when a horse, and the flat racing horse, that can get an overall rating or an official rating of about 130, 140, depending on how good a horse it is. So you can see the huge difference here when you've got the top horse at an overall rating of 60, and if you're getting Group 1 winners at 130 and 135, huge difference. So these class 6s and the 0 to 60 official ratings, I would probably stay away from them. So what we're going to go into, the 4 o'clock at Southwell tomorrow, or which back in the UK is not very far away. But here's the 4 o'clock at Southwell tomorrow, and as you say, remember what I said to you in other videos, try and look at small races. And as you can see, this is a class 5 race, and it's a novice stakes, which basically means a novice stakes is none of these horses have ever won a race. So they get put in, that's why it's called a novice. And it's a class 5, which is, again, if you look at the official rating of the horse, it's 69, the top one. And this one's 70. So yeah, it's not a very good race. But when it's a small race like this, it's different. If you've got 10, 15 runners, to try and pick a winner out of that, unless it's so obvious, which when you're in a class 6 and a class 7, it's not really that obvious. So with this race being only 5 runners, you can see on the right hand side here, the odds at this precise moment, they can change, especially when it gets closer to the starting time, which is 4 o'clock tomorrow at Southwell. But at the moment, these odds on here Now the easiest way to look at it, you can get odds on horses and you can get odds against horses. And the easy way to look at that is your odds on horses should win, hands down. Hands down. So this one here is an odds on horse. So what the figures mean is, if you put £13 on or $13 on, you'll win £8 or $8 on top of your 13. That's what that means. The one below it is 3-1 against. So again, what that means is, if you put £1 on, you'll win £4 or $4. 13-2, all you do is you divide how many times that 2 goes into 13, and it's round about 6.5. So if you put £1 on that, you're going to get 6.5 times your money plus your £1 back. The one below that, if you put £1 on at 8-1, you're going to win £9. And the one below that, if you put £1 on at 40-1, you're going to get £41 back. So that's the easy way to look at these figures. If the small number's in front of the big number, it's odds on, which isn't a very good price. But if the big number's in front of the small number, then it's a lot of the time it's a good price. Now there's other times that you can get even money, which is if you put £1 on or $1 on, you're only going to be winning £1 or $1. Okay, so tomorrow what the Racing Post have said is that Playful Spirit at 8-13 on is the favourite for this race. Now again, as I've mentioned before, in a lot of the races there's factors that come into that. Stalls, ground, etc, etc. But on this case, Southall is run on dirt. Kempton, the other meeting that's running tomorrow, is also on dirt. So you would need to look at and see what, as you can see the going up here, and it's saying standard to slow. So you would have to see if Playful Spirit or Poet's Pride or Hadir or Snooze Button or Polished Article, if they've ran at Southall before and if it's benefited them. And what I mean by that is, have they come in first or second or third? Which means that 9 times out of 10 they like that surface. If they haven't run at Southall, then that's a different story altogether. You're then taking a little bit of a risk in backing that horse. But on this occasion, as we've said about looking at the odds, if it's odds on this occasion, they're saying that Playful Spirit should win that race. Now, again, I could go into it with figures, but I'm not going to go into it too long with putting a whole load of figures into your head. To work this little one out, because it is only 5 runners, first of all, if you look at the trainer there, John Gosden, in one of my videos previous, he was my second top trainer in the UK. So going by that, a lot of people would just look at this and look at the trainers and they would pick out who the best trainer is, and by far John Gosden is the best trainer. So a lot of people can see why this is 8-13 on, because one of the factors is because of the trainer. The other factors could be the ground, could be the weight, and it could be the horse's last 2 runs, which have been, the first time he was out he was third, and the second time he was out he was second, and he only ran 12 days ago. So the trainer obviously thinks this is a good race for him to put this horse in that he thinks is going to win this race. So there's probably about 5 factors I've just put in there. We've got the price, or the odds of the horse, which is odds on. We've got the trainer, which is 2. We have the official rating, as much as he's not the top official rating. We've got the horse's last 2 races. We've got the ground, which you would need to check to see if Playful Spirit has run at Southwell before. And obviously the going. So there's about 5 or 6 factors there that you would have to look at. Then you would do exactly the same with the next horse and look at its odds. Now 3-1 is a reasonable price. 13-2 is a really good price. 8-1 is an even better price, and 40-1 is an outstanding price. But the way you need to look at that is, why is Polished Article 40-1? And why is Playful Spirit 8-13 on? And as I've said, there's factors in there. And one of them is because of the trainer. Now, as I've said, you would need to go into Playful Spirit's. We'll go in here and have a little look. Playful Spirit. Well, Playful Spirit hasn't run at all at Southwell, but he has run on standard to slow at Newcastle, and he has run on standard at Newcastle and Lingfield. He's been second and third, as we noticed, these last 2 races. The season before that, he ran on standard and he was third. And if you look at here, he was only beaten a length and a half, a length and 3/4 in the length. So looking at that, that tells me that Playful Spirit isn't going to have a problem with it going, because he's ran decent enough races on it, coming third and second. So odds on, if it wasn't for that trainer, would it be odds on? Probably not, in my opinion. We'll go into another race and we'll have a look. Let's see if we go into the 2:30. There we go. Are we going to get the odds for this one? There we go. So this one is a class 5. Now the last one was a class 5, but that was a novice race. This is now a handicap race, which is completely different. And it's 0-75, which is obviously a lot better than being in a 0-50 or a 0-60, which is the first race that I showed you, which was the apprentice race. And, excuse me, you can notice that right away, all these horses are odds against. And if you look at the first 4 horses, they're all quite close in the betting. So this could be a tricky little race, as much as it's only 7 runners. And remember, ladies and gents, if you only have 7 runners, you're not going to get an each way bet in this race. You could have a forecast race, which I'll tell you in a different video, but quickly it would be the first two in the race, and you would have to have them in the proper order, or a reverse forecast, which any of the two of them could come in first or second. But this is a video for the odds. And 94 odds against basically means, as you maybe know by now, if you see how many times 4 goes into 9, which is 2, so it's roughly 2 and a bit to 1 that you will get. So if you put $1 on, or if you put £1 on, you would probably get roughly around about £3.50 back. Near enough the same with this one, because 2 goes into 5 twice. So you'd roughly get about the same amount of money if you put £1 or $1 on. If you did it with Purple Rock, you would, at this precise moment, you would get odds of 4 to 1. So when that race is off, if the odds are the same, that's what odds you would get. So if you put on £1 at 4 to 1, you would get £4 plus your own pound. So you would get £5 back. 92 is slightly better, because 2 goes into 9 4 times, but you just have that little bit extra. So you would, if you put £1 on at 92, you would probably get round about £5.50. And 13 to 2, as we all know, is 6 and a bit to 1. So you put £1 on that, and you would roughly get about £7.50. So that's how the odds work. And the odds, you can get 94 and 5 to 2s, 4 to 1s, 92s, 71, 17 to 2. And it's easily to work out. You just put divide the small number, how many times it goes into the first number. And with odds against, if the small number's at the front and the big numbers at the back, then you would be, if it was 8 to 13 as we saw, or 1 to 2 on, if you put £1 on, or if you put £2 on, you would only win £1. But the odds against are the far better odds than your odds on. But basically, when they're saying odds on, they're basically saying that horse has got a really, really good chance of winning it. So yeah, with this race, it's a handicap race, class 5, 0 to 75, and you can see all the odds down there in order. And obviously, this is why I've mentioned, I think it was my second video, about the Racing Post. I know there's other papers out there that some people will think it's just as good as the Racing Post, and they probably are. But in my opinion, the Racing Post gives you everything, absolutely everything. So yeah, at this precise moment, these are the odds that we're getting for the races tomorrow. But I would think come the time, especially 5-10 minutes before the race, these prices will probably be completely different. So just take that on board if you're going to be studying your horses before you put a bet on. That at the moment they're saying Royal Cosmic is the favourite, and Country and Western is the second favourite. But these, going by the races, and as I've said, the ground and stalls, etc., you need to look into that more in depth, which we will over a certain amount of videos. And I would like to think come within the next 6 to 8 weeks, once we've covered a lot of it and shown you how to look into it in depth, that you guys will be able to do this. I'm always going to be here doing videos and teaching you as much as I possibly can, and answering as many questions as I can. And always remember, these jockeys here, the wee 5 at the side is claiming 5, so that would come off of this, 5 would come off of this. Okay, So we'll have another look at one other race. The next race that we're going to look at is the 3 o'clock at Southall. And another one. It's a small race. And once again, the odds are 5-2, which is 2 and a bit to 1. 11-4, which is slightly better odds. But another close race that they're basically saying that this is, that these top 3, Zari, Amity Waltz and Busy Street, they've all got a really good chance of winning this race. Again, if you look at the class of the race this time, a class 3. Now that's a good race. So there's good horses that are going to be running in this race, which, believe it or not, makes it slightly easier to put a bet on a horse because they're better horses. Whereas you were looking at the class 6 and all of the horses probably could have won the class 6, probably apart from one. But it's also a 0-90. So as you can see, 0-90, 82s, 80, 81s. So these horses are good horses that are running. They're not brilliant horses, but they're good horses if you're running in a class 3 race at 0-90 of an official rating. And again, you would have to look into the factors of the going being standard to slow. And if this horse, which you can see his first 2 races this season, he's won both. The next one's had 1 run and been second, and the next one's had 1 run and won. So this is quite a nice wee race to look at, especially when there's only 7 runners. If I was looking at this, I could study this race probably within maybe 25 minutes and checking all the horses and all the going and jockeys and trainers and prices and weights, and narrow that down to 3 horses. Do these horses have a chance? Absolutely. It's only 6-1, and these are only 7-1. And again, if you look at the little number at the side of the jockey, £7 would come off this horse. So that horse there would be running at 8 stone 1 to 9 stone 12, 9 stone 12, which is huge. That's a huge weight. So again, you would have to bring these horses into it and this horse into it. So a nice little tricky race, that one. Am I going to give you the winner? Not at the moment. Not just now. You need to know how to work everything out at first, but in later videos further down the line, yeah, each day I will try and let you know what I would do in that race and if it would win it. Anything can happen in a race, but yeah, further down the line I'll certainly give you tips each day on what I think will possibly win whatever race it may be. But going back to the odds, there they are all down there. 5-2, 11-4, 11-4, 6-1, 7-1, 14-1 and 25-1. And there's a reason why these bigger odds are 25-1 and 14-1. Alright, so I hope this video has helped you with the odds and how to look at them. Remember, all these odds are odds against, whereas the previous, I think it was the first race that we looked at, it was odds on. If it's an odds on race, the small numbers in front of the big, and if it's the odds against, then it's the big numbers in front of the small number. That's the way to remember it. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, as I have. Again, I'd like to thank everybody that's viewing my videos My channel's only been going about 5 days. And as you guys can see, there's only 7 subscribers there at the moment. But a lot of people are viewing my videos, which I really do appreciate. I really do. I'm just looking to get a lot more subscribers, and I'm going to be doing a lot more videos as well. So I hope you've enjoyed it, ladies and gents. Keep subscribing, keep hitting the bell buttons, and keep viewing, and I'll keep on doing videos for you. Alright, take care, and I'll see you soon.